When I was a teenager, around 15 or 16 years old, can't remember exactly, I wrote a book, a novel. I called it a novel at the time. Whether it meets that criteria, I don't know. I think it's somewhere on my computer. So let's find it and let's have a read. If I can actually find it. Okay, this is going to take a while. No, I can hear a child crying. I'll be back. Okay, I found it. Eventually. So, it's called I Dream of Death. I like to keep things light when I was a teenager. Originally, that title was written in French. The rest of the book is not in French, it's all in English. But to give some context, I was heavily influenced by The Outsider by Albert Camus in this phase of my life. And I think I imagined that this book was set somewhere in the south of France. I can't remember exactly what was going through my mind there, but it was written in grammatically incorrect French, I should say. So let's have a read. Okay, so first, chapter 1. I Dream of Death. I must have been sleeping. I dreamed I was in my old bed at my parents' house. I woke with a start from the cool hand on the back of my sweating neck. Laurent whispered that I had been tossing and fitting in my sleep and that he thought it best to wake me. I indicated that I disagreed by swearing at him and turning my back. I slept for a bit longer, but then Laurent pulled back the drape and let in a stripe of early sun. I pulled the coverlet over my head, but it was no use. Laurent was sat out on the little balcony that is accessed by 2 door windows on the far wall. I think when I say door windows, I mean French windows. The morning air looked fuzzy through my eyes, so I rubbed them clear. Laurent looked sad, and I asked him why as I sat next to him. He replied that it was because I had snapped at him. I told him that was a bit pathetic, because I'd been half asleep at the time and was annoyed to be woken. He looked at me tearfully and apologised. I said there was no need and went back inside as he was beginning to irritate me again. So I think from memory, what I was trying to do with this character was create a sort of an anti-heroine type figure, again emulating the lead character in The Outsider. Can't remember what she actually does in the story. Not even sure if there was really a plot. So let's scroll a little bit. It's nearly 38,000 words, which, you know, it's not bad going for a 15 or 16-year-old. Okay, here we go. Usually, I bathe in the evenings like everyone else. I've since learned that some people do bathe in the mornings as well. But I felt dirty after a fitful night, and I wanted to be fresh and clean, even if I wasn't going anywhere. I had started to heat some water on the stove for my bath when I realised that it was too warm for a steaming bath, so instead I filled up the narrow tub with cold water from the kitchen. We did have water on tap, but not in the bathroom because the apartment had been built strangely, and there was no place for a connection by the bath and no basin. We did have a flushing toilet though. It's all a bit of a grey area to me. I don't know what to say. So I'm having a bath. Cold water was penetrating, and cooled my sweating body down very quickly. I wondered what I would say if he asked to marry me. I thought I would probably say yes, just to be polite. But then I thought about how life might be different if we were married, how Laurent would want children and a nice house. And I decided I would probably say no, because I was happy as I was. I thought that Laurent would accept whatever I said anyway, so it hardly mattered. I hoped that he wouldn't ask me to marry him, because I didn't want to put him out and have him pouting and weeping for weeks on end. Like whenever else I shouted at him. Wow, quite abusive, this character, isn't she? Foul. Let's see what else she's going to do. When I stood up in the bath, cold water sluiced down my whole body and made me feel desirable. My skin was soft and golden, and looking in the mirror, I thought that I was really very beautiful indeed. I walked through the apartment to the bedroom, enjoying my nudity, and pulled a comb through the black tangles of my hair. Looking at the comb, I realised how detestable it was. It was faux ivory, and I thought it was very crude. Laurent had bought it for me as a gift. Oh my god, she really hates this guy. Let's see what else is going to happen in chapter 1. I decide to go downstairs and visit the people who live in the apartment on the ground floor. Okay. The people from 1A were acquaintances of mine. They were Italian. The rest of the neighbourhood tended to stay away from them, as they were reputed to be criminals. Of course, this idea inspired me to socialise with them even more. Laurent always hurried past their door with a little spy hole in it, but I rarely hesitated to join the inhabitants for strong coffee and smuggled cigarettes. I never could be sure of how many people lived there, because they seemed to come and go at an alarming rate. There was always at least 8 people hanging around in there, but not all of them lived there. Okay, enough with the detail. Now at this point, when I give the names of this Italian family, I'm laughing because I've used the names of some relations of mine, but I'm also laughing because I'm just a bit embarrassed at the stereotypes that I'm playing into here. So, okay, so I have included some Italian dialogue. Am I going to read it out? I'm not going to do an Italian accent. Ah, caro mia, come in here. Come, venire, bambino mia. This is, I now actually can speak Italian, so I'm just laughing at my mistakes. But hey, we didn't have Google Translate back then. This was when? 2002? 3? So I must have just gotten like a dictionary or something. I don't even know. Anyway, so she goes into the apartment. It's a lot of description. Not a huge amount happening. Oh,